Welcome to my 2021 holiday card series. You can find the reference material for all the paintings in this series by clicking on the project page link in the description of this video. We're ready to start this card, and this is a winter scene just with a creek running through it. This is the template for it. It's for the 5x7 inch blank greeting cards, or you could just do it on plain paper. And we have some just simple tree shapes here. I'm going to put some trees back here, but I didn't draw them all in. Just some snow, the slopes here that are snow covered and a partially frozen creek. That's what I'll be painting for this. And I want this to be a snowy day. It seems like I do this a lot on my holiday cards. And it just seems appropriate to me. So I'm going to take my an old toothbrush and some masking fluid. And I'm just going to splatter a little of that around where we'll see the pattern of the texture that this creates to suggest a snowy day. And not too complicated, just splash it a little bit around. And that's about it. Now what I'm going to do is just let this air dry, and then I'm just going to paint the little winter scene. Okay, this is dry, so ready to paint. And like I said, this has a creek just running through it and some trees and just some snowy riverbanks. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to mix kind of a gray violet. So I'll start with some, I'll start with a little ultramarine blue. And I'll add a little rose madder to that. Give me a violet, a little darker. I'll get that. I'm going to take just a little of this hands of yellow, gray this down. And let's see, a little more blue. It doesn't take much of that yellow to really gray this down. All right, that's closer to what I'm after. So I'm gonna start in the background here, and I'm just gonna take this kind of a gray violet. I'm just gonna paint over the trees. It doesn't really matter because they're gonna be a darker value. So it's kind of a snowy slope. I'll leave a few spots where you can see that snow. Maybe a couple sloped areas. And I'll take a little bit of that mixture with some water. I'll come down the slope here. I'll paint this as if it's in shadow and a bit of a hillside. Throw a couple other marks in there. And then, let's see. I'm going to leave that fairly light for now, as if the snow's coming over and hitting that. And I'm going to leave potentially a few shadows. So I'm going to have kind of an icy area here. And I'm going to leave some of these shadows here. And I want to dry that before I do too much more. You know, just some big washes on there. So let's give that a dry. So that's dry. And now I'm going to paint in the trees and some rocks. So I'm going to clean my palette and get a different color, some different colors on here. All right, so I'm going to take some raw umber, some quinacridone burnt orange. I'll take a little royal blue. So I have a variety of tones here on my palette, and a lot of times I paint this with let's say a 1/2 inch flat brush, but this is a fairly small area that we're working in, so I'm gonna just go ahead and use this is a number 6 round. I'm not going to get too involved with these trees. Just keep the shapes simple. This is just a, just a little greeting card we're doing. If I want to add a little more color to it, I can. I'll go a little warmer on this one over here. So I have all this texture too from the masking fluid. So I have some rocks starting to show through there. So we'll kind of show that. A few up here. So I'm going to put some other trees in here. I didn't draw them all in, I just knew I was going to add more trees, so shapes, different shapes. I'll put some saplings and different things in there. So we'll have a variety. Show some rocks over here. Take some of that blue, put that in there. And I've got, I'm going to take this royal blue. I'm going to add some burnt orange to that. Maybe some raw umber just to get a dark tone. This is where the water is showing through, and the ice is broken. Another area back here. So it looks like that's traveling back. Let me put a few other breaks in the ice. Alright, I'm going to dry that because if I don't, I'm going to put my hand in it. Okay, that's dry. I want to go a little darker in the back here. I'm just actually going to take some of this kind of a grayed blue that I have and glaze over this because I want this to be pushed back a little bit more than what it is. Too much like in value and color what was going on up in this area. I'll bring some of that, just a touch of that in. Okay, once again I want to dry this. Not sure I like the shape that I've got right here. I want to come across with that lighter value. So we'll fix that. Now let me dry it. So that's dry. And I'm going to clean this a little bit. I'll come back and remix some colors here. Alright, what I want is, at the moment I'm just going to take a little stronger violet, red violet. I think it's just a violet. I'm going to add a little, I don't want too much, just a little yellow. Okay, so I'm just going to drop some stronger, just a little darker value of this violet in here. I want it to be different than what's there. So maybe some shadows coming across. Show a little roll of the land. Maybe a little too much, we'll see. And I want this to be a little darker in here. A few pockets there. Now I'm going to go back to the earth tones I was using there, the raw umber and the burnt orange, and some royal blue, because I want I'm going to put a bunch of trees in now. Plus I want to go a little darker. I want to go a little darker here. Darker here. Okay, so now I'm going to take my liner brush and I'm going to put some just a variety of trees back here. This is just a heavy wooded area, we'll just say. Put in some trees kind of at some angles. And then I'm going to move forward. A bit of an edge here and there on where that water breaks. This is a little bit more of an involved Christmas card than what I've been doing, but I think we're almost there. And got some branches swinging down here maybe. That's probably enough, I think. I might add a little something here. I don't need much. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me give this a dry. All right, this is dry, so I'm gonna remove the masking fluid I put on there, that splatter, to create that feeling of a snowy day. And I'll take this tape off carefully, slowly pulling it off and pulling away from the paper. All right, so it opens up to be a card, and it's just you know, a snowy winter scene. So have fun with this one, and you don't have to make it a snowy scene if you don't want to, but I kind of like the effect that it gives when you do that.